Hello, water signs, and welcome to the mystery. I am Matt. I'm a psychic medium, an eclectic witch, and a Reiki master, and you name it, I've looked into it or will look into it. So, yeah, I am primarily chaotic in my work. I work very elementally. I've been doing mediumship ever since I was little. I just didn't know what it was. So today I have our water signs forecast for the week of May 23rd through the 28th through charm casting. Now, if you benefit from these, I ask you to consider a like and a subscribe, and maybe even a share. I know a lot of my own personal friends have friends who like to watch readings as well. And if you feel like these resonate with you, but you want a more in-depth picture or more information on specific questions, you can always go to my website linked in the description for a private session. Right now, actually, for University Magicus students, University Magicus is the online mystery school that I teach at, ran by Patty Negri, Father Sebastian, and Nicholas Bonani. And it is a phenomenal Zoom school. But right now, what I'm doing until the 29th, which is next week, I am doing 40% off of my normal private sessions for University Magicus students. So if you are a student of University Magicus, you can very easily hit me up through my page or through my DMs on any of my pages for the code to enter on my website when checking out for a private session. And that will knock off 40% of that cost up until the 29th. It is a one-time code, so I would get it while you can. Get it while it lasts before the 29th gets here. It'll be very quickly. I know this year's been going quickly for a lot of us. Okay, let's get started. I'm going to go ahead and get out my charm set. This is my lovely charm set based on the 36 cards of the Lenormand deck. And it was helped to be curated by me and my good friend Annalise Gallagher with Geldemont Studios wire wrap jewelry, and she also does tarot, oracle, and Lenormand as well. Okay. Let's go ahead and see what our charms say for our water signs for the week of May 23rd through the 28th, 2022. Here we go. For water signs, the week of May 23rd through the 28th, 2022. Okay. Immediately what I'm seeing is I'm going to go straight to the key right here. The key is about unlocking things. It's about unlocking your potential. It's road opening. It's very much the ace in the tarot sort of energy. And it's pointing directly towards the sun, which lately I feel, and in that next coming week, that our water signs are going to definitely be focusing on what feels comfortable, what feels good, what feels like the sun on your face, what feels like a warm hug. And our water signs are going to be embracing that and using that to unlock more of the upcoming situations and of new energy lines. And let's see what's next to it, actually. Unlocking through that energy of comfort and warmth. And what's next to it is a childlike sense of spirituality. So our water signs may be discovering a childlike sense of spirituality and sort of eliminating the bells and whistles that come with the study of their craft, whatever that may be. Whether it's a witchcraft path, whether it's a spell working path, whether it's a new age path, whether it's no path, um, like, or no defined path. They're like, a lot of the bells and whistles are going to be cut out, so we can get down to the root. So I see a lot of almost, if not direct inner child work, a lot of work going back towards that childlike energy to see what's truly in there and what we can connect with that can be helpful. Now, right next to that, we have our whip and broom charm, which is my perfume bottle. Perfume can get pretty oppressive. So right now, for water signs, I would watch out for oppressive mental chatter when it comes to travel. And if you're going to travel whatsoever, make it more of a deliberate thing. Brute force it in a way that is productive for you. Obviously, don't over extend yourself to force things that aren't necessarily meant. But as we all know, we create our own will, and we make those decisions for ourselves to create the life that we want. So we have to watch out for oppressive mental chatter around travel, and just make those decisions about what is useful to travel. And that could also be internally as well, and that's what our tower is right here, pointing towards. The tower in the Lenormand and in the charm casting set that I have has nothing to do with the tarot tower whatsoever. It's more of the hermit energy. It's more of the internalizing, the more of the going within, and it's pointing directly past all those deliberate decisions on, getting out of that oppressive mentality around travel, and maybe the oppressive mentality around internal travel as well. And that, is sort of jumping out to me even more because our spirituality is very much in an inner child-like state right now. So don't be afraid to get vulnerable with yourself over this next week, and go more internally. If you can find any meditations or do any forms of meditation that could get that oppressive chatter gone for a little bit, it would be very helpful. Because there's a lot of confusion right now around messages surrounding the heart and your passions and whatnot. And if we eliminate all the variables of those mental chatter and just take up for ourselves, take up for our own vulnerability, like, once you own it, then it's a lot easier to sift through, and it's a lot easier to manage. And going internal never hurt anybody sometimes. Okay, my significator arrow, I usually focus on it first in readings, but interestingly enough, I didn't this time. But I think it's still very important. I think over the next week, our water signs are going to be dealing with needing to be very cunning on how they are spending time at home. So yes, we need to go internal a lot and work with inner child a lot, but also I think if we're going to stay home, I know we're still in the Mercury retrograde season, and I know we're still in eclipse season, but if we're going to be cunning about how we stay home and like passionate and decisive about when we stay home or internalize, we need to be very specific about that. And we need to be decisive about when we want to travel as well, how we want to travel, both internally and externally. Hopefully that made sense. I know that's a little bit kind of a poor description of both sides of that coin, but we need to definitively know and definitively make those decisions on where we're going externally and internally in our world. So we can reap the most benefit from the sense of home. And I think that directly relates back into the inner child work. Now, right between my clover and my tree, which clover has everything to do with abundance, both materialistic and also it's a whole energy line. It's not just money, it's a whole energy line, and the tree has everything to do with vitality. And right next to it, that is our scythe, or our scissors charm, and that is about cutting. So, in order to have the most abundance and the most vitality right now, we're going to have to start cutting those situations that don't serve us well, when it comes to going either internal or even physical travel. So if physical travel is not serving us right now, and we need to be more internal, which is the tower over here, and more the internal inner child work, then we can be the most abundant and the most vital self by cutting out what is unnecessary. A good friend of mine lately just mentioned the concept of opportunity cost within economics. It's very much the case of sometimes you do something, and therefore because you do that, you have to sacrifice something else. Say if you take a trip externally, or you run yourself ragged physically traveling, then that may be the opportunity cost in place of having enough energy to do inner child work, and vice versa. If you're always doing a ton of inner child work, then you may be exhausted to physically travel and to get to see all of the connections that you have. Okay, next I'm going to focus on this other small pile, and I always get groupings of the ring with several charms that are next to each other. So right now, our commitments are going to have to lie on going within intuitively, and sort of revealing the feminine, which this charm, the woman charm, was upside down, revealing the feminine side of things intuitively, and definitely, again, being definite about how we use our emotions to do so. Reviewing over our emotions so we know exactly what we are doing when it comes to sussing out all that inner child work. So now the crossroads is upside down, so that means, again, we're going to have to be definitive and decisive. And our bouquet is upside down, so that means, again, less social situations. This is going to be more of a you thing, an internal thing, than it is something that will be profitable sharing with others, unless they're absolutely trusted. Let's see here. I don't see right now that it would be very profitable to make any new starts with anything, unless it is that inner child work. That's very much so the current that is going on the underneath, and the sort of the underworld aspect of below, like on the other side of the veil, if you will. So new starts, not necessarily maybe a great idea, and also needing to not be loyal to our barriers. So this is very much the Five of Cups card and the tarot, not needing to focus on the negative. So the more we focus on the negative, the more we focus on our blocks and our barriers, the more we will manifest our blocks and our barriers. And our blocks and our barriers point directly towards like these two charms about not focusing on our blocks and our barriers so they don't become too big for us to handle, points directly towards the need for change. So there's already a need for change, there's already a need for grounding, and not focusing on so much of the spilt milk situation will be the easiest energetic line pointing towards, hitting those endings that lead to new beginnings, and further grounding ourselves grounding ourselves in a sense where we can like lower our vibration to stay within our body, which is super important, but also lowering our vibration so we can vibrate at a higher vibration when we choose to. Everybody always mentions that high vibe is always good and low vibe is always bad. I don't subscribe to that personally, because low vibe to me, it's just like the lower chakras versus the higher chakras. Low vibe just means slower vibrations, and that just means manifesting more in the physical realm. When I work with spirits, I always say that spirits have to lower their physical vibration, or lower their spiritual vibration, in order to physically manifest. They're of that higher vibration, and we have to raise our vibration to meet them halfway, but they have to lower their vibration to physically manifest, which is why it drains them so much energy sometimes. So lowering our vibration is not necessarily a bad thing. We just have to do it in a positive light. Just like every tarot card has a positive and a negative aspect. Every Lenormand card has a positive and negative aspect. We need to positively lower our vibration, because lower does not necessarily mean negative. And last but not least, well, like almost last but not least, our writer is pointing up. So I feel like we're going to be, as like our water signs are going to be sending more spiritual messages out into the universe, sending more wishes, sending more manifestation out into the universe right now. And you know, they're going to be ones of great hope. So there is a lot to be said and done in areas of great hope, and that comes with the star right up here. It's almost off frame, but alright, I know we can still see it though. And then triangulating all of that is, you know, getting very intimate with what our desires are. How well are we able to connect with that? How able are we able to definitively see what we desire? The more we are able to see what we desire, the easier it will become to manifest. And now, last but not least, our masculine and our feminine are right next to each other. And like I said, the feminine almost needs to be revealed, so needs to be focused on intuitively. But when it comes to the masculine, the manifestation, the more forceful side, what's going to help in this next week is not focusing on the energies that fester and disease, the energies that are more negative, and the energies that keep us in that negative, that oppressive mental chattery space from down here. And if we do that, and we focus more on our inner child and asking ourselves, what do I truly want? And being very real with ourselves. What do I truly want? Asking that, meditating on that, gleaning as much as we can from that, can really springboard us and send us on a long, long way. Okay, again, I'm going to remind us that if you liked this reading and if it resonated, again, take what you will, leave the rest. You can definitely like, subscribe if you liked it, comment, share, and I'm going to remind us again that if you didn't catch any of the other signs videos, or the other elements videos for you know, sun, moon, rising, whatnot, which the elemental series is not necessarily meant for sun, moon, and rising. It's more meant for your sun sign. But since this is my first video for all of the elements, I'm going to say that I have my GoFundMe up now, and it is to fund a gypsy-style Vardo wagon to take my mediumship on the road. Around the fall, my current income drops away, And I am really done with saying, I'm really done with the energy line that doesn't say no to things that that drag you down. And I'm all for only saying yes to things that are within my joy. And, you know, I know it can be possible. I know I've got the mentality of 20,000 people with $1. And I think we need that mentality right now. That anything is possible as long as we create it and make it possible. So if you'd like to support that, you can find that in the link below. It's also on my main page of my website. If you liked this but you want a further in-depth, unlimited question, charm casting, tarot, Lenormand, oracle, Reiki session, what have you, I can pull from many different avenues, then look into my website for my private sessions. They're currently up on my website, and remember that University Magica students through the 29th get a 40% discount, a one-time 40% discount. So hop on that while you can, and check me out. Check me out, and we'll see what we can suss out, because you all are super important to me, and I appreciate everything that you have done, even just by existing. Even just by existing. And I hope you enjoyed. I hope you enjoyed this week's charm casting. Catch me next week. I'm gonna try to do Earth on Mondays, Air on Tuesdays, Fire on Wednesdays, and Water on Thursdays. And I will upload those accordingly for the week after I film them. Remember, these are not timeless, so they're good for the week that is mentioned in the video. But again, like I said, I hope you can glean as much as you possibly can from these, and I hope you have a great rest of your week.